Thank you, Mr. President, for your insightful and spirited remarks. Now I'd request Ms. Sonia Bashir Kabir, Advisor FBCCI, to deliver the presentation on Take C. Thank you.
Phone gulo kindly off kore rakhen.
Assalamu alaikum and a very, very good afternoon, Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Special Guest, distinguished panelists from across the globe, and members of the media. A very warm welcome to FBCCI. It is with great honor and pleasure that I would like to discuss what we have plans for the Technology Center, or TechC. Under the umbrella of the FBCCI Impact 4.0, we launched the Technology Center. It is an initiative of this apex trade body, FBCCI, with the sole purpose of strengthening businesses, specifically the cottage small and medium entrepreneurs, as well as the startups, by leveraging technology and driving economic growth. The three pillars for our Technology Center are digital acceleration, explosive growth, and transformative impact. The big picture of TechC that we'd like to share is we have an informal economy that is 84% of the population. We are very passionate about igniting them, and with the aims of leveraging technology. We would like to empower our already thriving entrepreneurs. The government of Bangladesh, specifically the Ministry of ICT, has taken a lot of steps to make the entrepreneurial ecosystem very strong, and we would like to complement and collaborate with that effort to empower the entrepreneurs, build their businesses, scale, and make money with success. And last but not least, we would like to drive technology across and impart a sense of innovation into the existing culture. Before we begin into the meat of the discussion, I'd like to give a little bit of a high level of Bangladesh, what the landscape is for what we are trying to do. As most of you are aware, we have a very strong economic growth, which high GDP, high tele density. We have density dividend, we have demography dividend, we also have the data dividend. And our country is now focusing on inclusion, economic growth, and innovation from across all quarters of the government. We have the potential of impact. We're a least developed country graduating into a middle economy. We have the ability to address the social problems locally, which as impact defines that you can have very measurable outcomes. And last but not least, these are all financially very viable. We have a thriving, innovative ecosystem backed by the government. And what we are seeing is because of our tele-density, of our mobile penetration, we're seeing that the consumption of digital content on mobiles is rising, driven by the demographic dividend, 50% of the population under the age of 30. I'd like to spend a little bit time on this slide. It's a very important slide because Bangladesh is a young country, but the country has been very, very active in a thriving ecosystem for technology. What we saw with COVID, one of the good things that happened in our country was the digital transformation. The sectors that were traditionally low tech, like health, education, and finance, embraced technology at a very accelerated pace. And what we see right now that we would like to highlight is that we are a nation that has gone from democratizing technology to democratizing innovation. We have completed our digital literacy and skills. Now we are digitally ready, and our micro businesses are now ready to be what we will call impact techpreneurs. So the tech preparedness is really about technology. It's about inclusive technology and bridging the digital divide. A little bit of statistics that we would like to share. This is from the Light Castle Partners is the source. As the startup ecosystem, we have 71 funded companies. The total funding that Bangladesh has received till today is 284 million. This is dated till November. There may have been another one which we have not captured. The global funding out of the 284 million is 268 million. The local funding is 16 million. The time is from 2010 to 2020. As of 2020, we have startups with the highest valuation have crossed 100 million plus. Our goal with the Technology Center is to have 5x growth minimum in 5 years, so we can see that the funding, the startups that get funding locally as well as internationally get enough attention because they are totally underserved. The beautiful thing about our country, Bangladesh, is that we are a digital first, digital only, mobile first, mobile only embracing generation because of our demographic dividend. What we are seeing is that the consumption patterns of the customers is changing. It is all because of the digital adoption. As we mentioned earlier, we have data dividend. We are a population of 160 million people, and you can imagine the kind of data we can generate for any vertical that we serve. And last but not least, banking on the emerging economy, the fourth industrial revolution, and the SDG goals, we see huge impact potential. So if we were to summarize what we have just said, we gave you a little bit of a background of Bangladesh, and now what does TechC want to do with what we have shared? The first thing that Technology Center will focus on is the deep tech skills training. We feel that Bangladesh has done very well in creating a startup ecosystem, in getting students interested to start their own business, and there's huge support from the government. What we feel we can complement now is get some international brands to help us with the deep tech skills training, because technology, as we know, is a very key important part for any software or any startup to succeed. The second thing that we would like to do to complement what is already existing is the preparedness training of the founders. We feel that the skill set that is required for any startup CEO or founder needs to be given very across the country, so that everybody cannot be a startup founder. So we want to focus on that training and help with the DNA of the founders and identify that. The third thing we will focus on is rigorous training on how to run startups. We have panelists today who we have partnered with who will elaborate on that point. And the last but not least, to complement what is happening is in the country already, from the government, from the private sector, we would like to embark on the venture wing, which will have local plus international VCs coming into our platform. The expert international brands, as our Honorable President has already mentioned, are the University of Toronto, Canada, Seneca College, Canada, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT Sol from USA, and Accelerating Asia from Singapore. We are also very passionate about creating value. We've already talked about the collaboration and complementing with government. We've talked about private sector partnerships, international partnerships, and leveraging global practices. What we are also very, very focused on is the rural and the urban economies. TechC will go nationwide, district-wide in all our endeavors, and our partners will elaborate more in detail as we have plans for reaching across the 64 districts of Bangladesh. On a very high level, the 8 working groups and committees that TechC will focus on for our deep skills training, and also our partnering with the international universities and accelerator programs, are on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, IoT, e-commerce, digital financial systems, blockchain, data analytics, applied skills, and tech vocational training. These 8 working groups and committees will have industry experts work on papers, and also have international experts giving us training. The key sectors that we would like the startups to focus on to solve the problems of the masses and bridge the digital divide are going to be fintech, agri-tech, health tech, edutech, and on the technology side with blockchain, IoT, software as a service, AI, data, and analytics. We're very happy to say that our initiatives map to 9 of the 17 SDG goals, and these we expect them to increase. So SDG number 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 are all mapped to our initiatives. And as I said, we will be continuing to increase this list. The highlight of the presentation of mine is that TechC will curate startups, and we are looking to create impact techpreneurs. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, we have impactpreneurs, but we're focusing on impact techpreneurs. These are who will build solutions. Trademarked, yes, it will be trademarked. Thank you, Mr. President. We will build solutions around a digital ecosystem, solve problems for masses, and last but not least, is the definition of any impact startup is the results that can be measured. We will focus on those startups that address the masses, problems of the masses. So we've talked about health, agriculture, fintech, and edutech, and results will be measurable. And I would like to conclude by saying that it is the TechC's initiative is to make or build in Bangladesh, for Bangladesh, and from Bangladesh. Thank you very much.